And so the 18 of Kyle Busch getting drugged back into the garage area. They have already got the backup car out of the hauler. And that is what's taken place in this final practice. Marty.
With his teammate Denny Hamlin, and that's a scary sight to see in your rearview mirror, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, that was a hard hit from where I could see, and it just looked like, it almost looked like cut tires. Just went in there and got loose and corrected, went the other way, but that's like a hard hit. But we're out there just trying to log some data, get some laps, and figure out what we could run as a group. And our FedEx Camry's pretty good, so we'll see how it goes tomorrow night.
You see the replay. Have there been any tire issues at all today, Denny?
No, I think the 19 had one go down in his left rear earlier in practice, but no, nothing. Hadn't seen anything like that.
How were the track conditions today, Denny? It's obviously very hot, very slick. Similar maybe to what we'll see even tomorrow evening?
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be a little bit better for sure, even though, it's hot today. It's going to be a little bit cooler at night tomorrow, but handling definitely won't be an issue. It always is here in July.
All right, the Gibbs cars out there practicing together, and Denny Hamlin was in front of Kyle Busch when all that went down. Rick?
Yeah, luckily he was in front, and luckily there was enough gap between the cars, too, that he was able to avoid the cars behind him.
Yeah,
Kensington right behind him.
Safety innovations in NASCAR, everybody come up with the safer barrier. Watch the safer barrier. As the 18 car, see the right rear blows out. He has to correct the car. He puts a little bit of right wheel input to it. Now the car goes, and look at the input. Look at the angle at which the car hits the wall. It's still moving forward, but it almost hits head on, even though it's moving forward. Watch the wall as it moves in, and look at it deflect back out.
Yep.
I mean, that is a perfect example of how the safer barrier works. It absorbs that energy. It takes the blow away from the driver. When you hit concrete, it doesn't move. This moves. Watch it at real speed. Tire blows, right wheel input. Huge impact. That impact without that safer barrier is much, much worse.
And the other, not only the wall, which obviously great invention with the safer barriers, but the cars, they're allowed to crush a little bit and they are allowed to absorb some of that contact as well with the front clip. It bent away as opposed to the area where the drivers are, that stayed intact and solid.
That's exactly right. And listen, one person's bad luck is another person's good luck. What this has done is it's potentially created a situation for Reed Sorenson and his team to have an opportunity. All these teams now, you see Reed Sorenson in the white 55 car, these teams now have come to the end of pit road. And it's potentially they could all leave together. And if that happens, it creates an opportunity for maybe Reed Sorenson to get a run and try to make something happen again. I think the strategy for them would have been to come in, pull the motor off, try to put a little bit of tape on it, and hope you get a pack. I don't think it's going to be big enough, but all you can do is hope.
They're not going to have enough time because by the time they come around, the black flag's going to come out. NASCAR has said we're not going to extend this practice, and it's scheduled to end in about 30 seconds.
And Rick, I don't think NASCAR has much of a choice. We talked at the open of the show how condensed this day is. These teams have to prepare for qualifying, which is normal on a Friday, but the difference here at Talladega, Daytona, is prepare for qualifying means prepare for the race because it's an impound. Once they present their car today, it's out of their hands until tomorrow night, other than a qualifying lap. So there's not enough time, even just a few minutes, to give these teams. Every minute is precious from here all the way to qualifying.
But the 55 has to do whatever they possibly can. Reed Sorenson in that 55 is currently 5th as far, and there's the red and black flags. As far as the drivers that aren't locked into the race, Reed Sorenson in the 55 car needed to get in front of Cole Witt, who was 13th fastest. Reed Sorenson, 17th fastest. And the way the system is set up, chartered teams have a spot, a guaranteed spot in the race. Those are 36 spots. 37 through 40 are determined by speed for this race in qualifying and in this practice, if the practice is the only thing that they can refer back to if rain happens for qualifying later this afternoon.
That's right. And, all these rules, they create an opportunity and they create a situation. Imagine what would have happened as they throw the black and red in practice. When you throw the black and red in practice, that means practice is over. It's not like qualifying, where you can just keep digging and come around and take the start-finish line again, and that speed would count, right? So once that red and black falls in practice, it's over.
Done.
It is over.
Kelly.
Down here with Kyle Busch, who's just been released from medical, a big impact. But what was that moment like when the tire let go?
Wasn't any fun, that's for sure. Just, your first instinct is to correct, and the car automatically corrects, and then finally when it catches or when it hit the apron and caught, just turn back the other way and head on into the fence. So that was certainly a big hit. So you got to thank NASCAR for their safety advancements in the cars and the drivers' equipment and things like that, and of course the safer barrier as well too. That could have been a heck of a lot worse than what that was.
Obviously, you'll get back into a backup car for qualifying, but how concerning is the tire issue now for you?
Yeah, it doesn't give you any confidence whatsoever in Goodyear's ability to make a tire that's worthwhile to go out there and race on. So, I guess we'll all just suffer through it and hope for the best.
And in the we'll end it there. All right, Rick.
Thank you, Kelly. And it was one cut tire, and that one cut tire was a big contact for Kyle Busch. We'll be back.